Panelists joining us on our fireside chat today. We're going to be talking about keeping our drives moving through these uncertain times. We're all dealing with a new reality. So with us, we have Adriana Steel, Sunbit's Senior Director of Field Operations, a former service director herself. And where are you right now, Adriana?
So I'm currently at a dealership. I activated a new location. So I'm in BMW of Beverly Hills.
All right, very good. And then we got Dave Woodland, Service Director over at Toyota San Bernardino. Dave, how you doing?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Excellent. And then Ruben Serna, Service Director from Rock Honda. Ruben, how's it going?
Good. How are you guys doing? Thanks for letting me join this meeting. And yeah, I'm excited about being here.
Excellent.
Good afternoon.
So let's actually get right into it, and thanks for sharing you guys' background and Sunbit story a little bit. So, a lot of our states have been dealing with, stay-at-home ordinances that have been implemented. And a lot of our service center partners are seeing a decline in traffic, a decline in appointments, and especially now that car sales, haven't been able to stay open as much as the service drives, there's a lot more pressure from the dealership on you guys more than ever before. So I want to have an open conversation around how you guys have adapted your business to this new reality. So first, I want to talk about the people. Anyone in essential services right now is experiencing these new times in a much different way. And much like your advisors, our own partner success managers are also out there in the field with our account managers. Adriana's out there traveling. So Dave, I kind of want to start with you. How are you managing your teams through this new reality? How are you maintaining employee morale?
My job and the way I've always seen it is I have to take care of, they're my family. They're a second family. So whatever they go through, I go through, and we're in this together. So 100%, I wanted to make sure that I took care of them. So I've done everything I can. I've worked 6 days a week. Ruben sees me at home. I'm downloading lists. I'm doing searches on VINs. We're looking for recalls, because recalls is easy money right now. So if you're going to stay alive, and we're fortunate, not fortunate, but Toyota has a bunch of recall, a couple of million out there at least right now. So we're executing on those as well as we can to keep my team healthy, keep their families healthy. And compared to some other stores, I think we were fortunate. We only had to lay off 6-8 people, I think was total through this whole ordeal, which is 15%, 10-15% of my staff. So we were very fortunate in that to take care of them. And I had advisors come up to me and said, the only reason we're this busy is because of you and what you're doing and the extra work. And that's great when someone can tell me that, and I keep these guys healthy. So that was, keeping my family at a harm's way is what my goal was. And I think we did pretty well.
That's good to hear. Ruben, how about you and your team?
I think that now more than ever, we've experienced low morale than ever before. And low morale is a pandemic all in itself. People stop caring. They make more mistakes on the job. They're not thinking clearly. They're anxious, they're experiencing some type of pain. It almost sounds touchy-feely, but you really have to communicate to your people.
Thank you for sharing that. And Adriana, you are managing our own team that's still out there traveling, and daily they're visiting as many dealerships as they can. How's it been with you managing their morale?
So, it was tough for us going into the dealerships and seeing that, some advisors weren't there because, they're either working opposite shifts or, unfortunately they got furloughed. But I think that understanding how we can help and support, service advisors, service directors, service managers really lifted up the spirits in our team. And they understand that we have so much value that we're bringing, and we're there to assist, to support them. And I think that kept them motivated. And also for the service advisors, hearing comments from them saying, hey guys, I can't believe you guys are here. We appreciate it. We were respectful to all of the guidelines, making sure that we had the mask. If no visit, we couldn't do a visit, that was fine. We would follow up with an email. But I think the team that we have has just been fantastic in regards to staying positive and just feeding off of the support that we can provide for all of the service advisors and dealerships out there.
That's great. Thank you, Adriana. You mentioned something about masks, so I think that's a good segue. I'm curious to learn more about how you guys are keeping your service drives sanitized and welcoming to both employees and guests. So, Dave, are you guys doing anything over at Toyota San Bernardino?
Oh, definitely. We looked at several products, and we actually got a product that was at a hospital. They actually clean a lot of the surgical equipment, the rooms, everything with, and we grasp onto that chemical. We clean every car coming in from the door, the exterior door, all the way through the interior door, steering wheel, dash area, and down into the shifter, emergency brake, center console areas. And just to try to protect our guests and protect ourselves too. It's such a tough situation to put us all out there, and people have families and hoping that someone doesn't really get sick or ill. So everybody really is doing a great job of making sure that's top of number one priority. And then we're hitting the waiting areas and also the advisor areas hourly too, with bleach and just making sure they're clean, spraying some of that same chemical on the chairs. And we've actually bleached one lady's clothes by accident. She sat on a wet chair, so we're guilty. Things happen. It's something you deal with.
Yeah. I'm sorry?
It's good. It's good though. The customers see it. They see that we're doing the extra, and they really appreciate it. We were talking this morning in our managers meeting, and salespeople just say that it feels like there's not even anything going on here because we keep it so clean, and everybody's working, everybody's doing everything, so they feel safe in our environment. So.
And then Dave or Ruben, were either of you talking about either something you guys do special for first responders or medical staff in terms of cleaning their vehicles or anything like that?
When this first started, the first thing we thought about and we got together was, who can we help out there? Who needs the most help? And you see all those, the medical people. It's just amazing what they're doing for our community and their sacrifice. The people that have lost their lives trying to protect us is just, something you should never forget. That we should never forget. And so we decided that whatever they wanted, if they wanted their car clean, we were going to go pick up and deliver those cars. We sent out email blasts to our whole community of Toyota customers, and you'd be surprised. We're picking up a young lady who had COVID. She was a nurse. We picked up her car, sanitized. It was a Hyundai. Her parents are Toyota owners, but her dad, she was in the hospital. We picked up the car. We disinfected it. This is 2 or 3 weeks ago. And we're getting more response from that. We've got nurses that are doing it on a weekly basis now. And we are pick up and delivering those cars as well too. So we did grocery store workers, we did first responders. We just feel those people in the community that are putting their lives at risk for all of us deserve some type of thing. And it's no charge. We'll go pick up their car. We don't want to make a nickel. We just want them to remember that we're here for them. And in the future, hopefully they'll pay it forward to us.
Yeah. For, your service drives, what are some of the tactics you guys have been deploying to help drive traffic? Actually, Ruben, I'd love to start with you and some of the things you guys are doing to help bring that traffic back up during this new time.
I think initially we were just calling our local businesses in our area to make sure that they know we're open, restaurants, local hospitals, doctor's offices, anything within our 10-mile radius. But at I think the most, and I'm sure Dave will also tell you, but I think the most impactful, the most immediate response we've had to drive traffic was, they've got email campaigns as well as text messages. Nowadays, everybody, does everybody look at their email? I don't know, but everybody looks at their phone at least sounds like 10,000 times a day. And then we have to scale it back because it works so well that within 15 minutes of sending out the text message for recalls or maintenance reminders, people are calling in, and it's just an influx of customers that we have to now we know what how many we want to send out at certain times of the day, because immediately it's an unbelievable response.
By chance, Toyota had released a very large recall just days after we were put into quarantine. And that was a catalyst that got us through a lot of this. So when most shops were not busy, we were extremely busy with the recalls, my guys were so ecstatic, the technicians, that they could have that type of work. Any work is better than no work. And that got them through. I mean, our last 2 weeks, my shop ran at 130% efficiency. So I had guys, over 200 hours. Like this month, we're tracking almost $200,000 in warranty labor sales. Our average is half of that at least. And that's because of those recalls and the text message system that we're using. Those recalls are a lifesaver for us right now. And there's so many out there. We've got a year's worth probably.
Ruben, I think you were talking about how hyper diligent you are about car count. Can you talk a little bit about what you're doing, what tools you're deploying?
Yeah, the idea, when it started happening, especially before we laid off people, we were keeping track of how many customers were coming in. And I don't really, when you start to take things for granted when things are going well, and you start forgetting about some of the things that are essential, like car count. Because you get so spoiled from doing business well-mannered. So we started keeping track of last month and this month on our daily count. We keep track of gross profit margins, effective labor rate, hours per pillar, dollars per ticket. And so we track the tendencies of our account each day of the week to make sure that we had enough people during certain days. Now it's starting to come back. We feel like it's coming back and things are opening up and going in the right direction. As a matter of fact, we're bringing 12 people back tomorrow.
Wow, that's great.
So yeah, it went up a little bit. So we're excited about that. So just the idea that you got to make sure, because when you keep track of the car count, you also got to figure out, when do I make a move to bring people back? And I think right now that's the most important, because as your business grows, again, almost feels like you're starting over. You've got to make sure you have the right people at the right time to be able to offer, a trouble-free, excellent experience to all our guests. So,
yeah. And then Adriana, with your nationwide travels, anything you can share here around helping dealerships maintain their KPIs through this time?
A lot of the service advisors, want to make sure that the customers are happy and whatever they can do to help them. And we had a store, actually numerous stores, but this particular store in Texas, they were offering payment plans to their customers now more, because they realized that everybody's budgeting, and that, you don't want to have customers who have to make a hard decision whether they're going to pay for their groceries or to fix their car or for rent and so forth. So offering the payment plans early, they were able to, because they did that, they were able to reduce their discount request percentage. They had it at above 9%, and the payment plans actually helped bring it down to now a little bit over 2%. So that store was really successful in not only helping customers make it easier for them for pay for unexpected services or maintenance, but it also helped them with their KPIs.
Together. I really appreciate the time, not just with our panelists. We got Esty on the back end, but all of the attendees and dealerships and groups that have joined us today. A huge thank you to everyone, and keep an eye out for the next in our Fireside Chat webinar series. We're going to be doing these a lot more. And if you're interested in specific topics, or you'd like to be a panelist for a future session, email Esty at esti.ross@sunbit.com, or Adrian, Adrian, at sunbit.com.